everybody to the Monitor platform. And today on podcast, this one will be like a debate. I don't know if it will be a debate or
We might still agree.
we might still agree. Nobody knows because
hmm
all these days we have been
hmm
agreeing, you know. And
Yeah,
the
so
whole setup has
annoying.
changed. I've used the Holy Ghost to fire the static noise. So no more static noise. I think everything is going smooth now. And
hmm
today's episode we'll be talking about albums. Okay, in this day and age,
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody like GK will love this kind of topics because he's somebody who is versed. He has the knowledge on these things. I think GK will love it. So we'll be talking about our albums necessary in the industry in this age of the music industry in Cameroon, like everywhere, not only in Cameroon. Our albums are necessary right now. And when do we think it is the right time to drop an album, a first album? And when do we think, or what do we as listeners expect from an artist's first album? So I know this thing. I don't know if, but even though we may agree or disagree here, Ita and I, that one is just between us. But I just know before this episode runs out, if there's an upcoming artist here listening to this episode of Contrast Podcast, be sure you're going to learn a lot. And if there are some
hmm
things here that you disagree, Eric, what's up? Eric in the building. Eric
Eric.
might be a sound drop. Might be a sound drop. What's up, Eric? Eric, what's it? So let's continue. What I'm saying is, uh, one thing I know for a fact is that by the end of this topic, if there's an upcoming artist, like underground artist or somebody who hasn't released any full body of work yet, and is still working his way up to the top in the music industry, by the end of this topic, you will learn a lot. Okay, that one is
yeah.
guaranteed. I'm just telling you. So it doesn't matter if Eta and I disagree or we agree on this topic. Just know you walk away from this episode with a lot of gem, like knowledge, things that people pay to know.
Mm.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just sat down and thought about it and said, okay, why sit on all these kind of things for so long? Just put it out. Okay, let it out.
hmm
Yeah. So my co-host here is Ita, and since we started, I'm gonna let her say the word, offer the word. So Ita, what's up? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm good. So yeah, Ita from Chakara TV as always, as usual. And like you said, we're going to be talking about the importance of albums.
Yeah.
Like before we started, I was saying like I don't know much about this, but I have seen tweets, I have seen celebrities coming out and saying one or two things about albums and their importance and the right time to drop that. So basically, I'm just going to be transferring the knowledge which I've been getting from those celebrities to this platform.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So, before we started this episode, I don't know if
Mm.
it's that you were focused editing or what, but your energy was off. What's happening, Ita? What's up?
What's happening? My energy is off.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because you were focused editing
Uh huh.
or I don't know. Because I know that thing also happens when you're editing, you just get into the zone,
Yeah.
and when you leave that place, it's like you look like you were sleeping or crying when you focus on the screen a lot. GK is in the building. GK.
Oh,
Boza, my
GK.
man. Yeah, Boza. Yes. Welcome, GK. Yeah, I was just
Welcome.
talking about this topic and said GK will enjoy this kind of topic. Like he will eat
hmm
this topic up. It's a debate, GK. Today's a debate. Debate between everybody. So I don't care how many people watching there. Everybody has a point, has something to say about this topic. Okay? I don't know.
hmm
Because I just believe guys who follow this contrast podcast are guys who have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to the music industry.
Yeah, I think so.
So here we are about to talk, like, dive in, express our various point of views on this same topic, and I know GK will eat this topic up. Eric na married ever come for come my point about get up. Eric, come
Leave
on,
Eric
son.
alone.
Eric, yes, me and you. So we are going to start with our albums important
hmm
in this age of the music industry. Since I'm the moderator, I'm going to pass the ball to Ita. Though she says she does not have enough knowledge on this topic, but maybe we'll start by asking Ita what she understands by an album. Yo, the Faka Piri, the first time for you to come to be present here. Like, yeah, like I said, Magia Oboza. Magia Oboza. Yes, the Faka is in the building. Yeah, his first time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know him. Yeah, he did a song, I think
Uh-huh.
2018. Yeah, 2017, 2018 called Chak. I loved it. The song was dope.
Okay.
And yeah, that whole vibe, I don't know what happened to that whole movement. The Faka, I think you will tell us here, okay? Because this topic has it talks about guys like you, okay, underground
Mm-hmm.
artists who haven't had mega hits yet and who haven't had smash hits but have produced dope songs, and they have dreams of producing an album that will sell a lot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this whole topic, like from the beginning to the end of this topic, like I said in the beginning, any upcoming artist watching this video, by the end of this episode you will learn a lot, and we may agree or we may disagree, but at the end of it we may learn, like, pick up a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So where was I before the Faka came in? I was
Yeah,
about to
you had sent the ball to me. Yeah.
yeah,
So
asking you about,
before
yeah,
I proceed, I have a question.
yeah.
I have a question. I know of EPs. I know of albums. What's the difference?
That was the difference between an album and an EP.
Yes.
Okay. This I don't want to answer this question because many guys don't know. Because when I'm answering it, if I
Mm-hmm.
answer it at the beginning of this episode, I will let so many guys slide. Let me ask Defaka, he's an artist. Defaka, what is the difference between an EP and an album? First, define an EP. When you define an EP, then you tell me how an
Mm-hmm.
EP differs from an album.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. Because most guys just throw away that word a lot. They just say, "Yeah, this is my EP. I just dropped an
Yeah,
EP. I just dropped an
I
EP."
see it. And I'm
But
like,
do they really understand what an EP is? That's the point.
because like my issue is like I see an EP, I'm seeing a list of songs. I'm seeing an album, I'm seeing this list of songs. So I'm
Don't worry,
like,
Eta. I will make you understand
um,
why EPs are the way they are and why albums are the way
yeah.
they are and the differences between
Mm-hmm.
EPs and albums. Just the name of an EP, just the name, I think, gives you a little bit of insight on what an EP is.
The name is an abbreviation, so
Yeah,
I
so
was
that's why I'm
EP. What does
asking
it
you
mean?
to give the full meaning of it. So, Defaka,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't can enter hot seat today. You come now for wrong episode.
People come to relax and
There's
listen.
many
Like
artists here.
they
No,
don't
that's what
come
makes
to
it
have a
fun.
pop quiz.
No, that's what makes it fun. It's a pop quiz. If you're an
Yeah.
artist and you don't know it, then
Yeah.
why do you title your projects the way you title them? Or even, what's a
Mm-hmm.
mixtape? What's the difference
Yeah,
between a mixtape
mixtape.
and an
That's
album?
another thing.
What's the difference between an album and an EP? What's the difference between an
Mm-hmm.
EP and a mixtape? So we are going to talk about all those things today and see if they have value in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, so why I was asking that because I feel like my response about the importance of our album would be from I need to know what is what first before I start giving any response because
Mhm.
I might be talking about an EP when I'm actually referring to an album. I might be talking about a mixtape when I'm referring to an EP. So yeah, I need that to guide me.
Okay. Since the fucker's answer is low, or is he still typing, or I don't know. Eric, GK, you
Probably.
guys can feel free to help the fucker because I know GK, especially, you have knowledge when it comes to music. So you guys can
Yeah.
help him. Okay? Because I'll give the answer if he doesn't. So, um, like what it has said, some media personalities like they face difficulties categorizing projects that artists drop because those artists
Mm-hmm.
give names and they just go by those names, and sometimes they may drop an EP, and when the media personalities are talking about it, they call it an album. They may drop a
Mm-hmm.
mixtape, and just because of the confusion of how it sounds
Yeah.
or the content of the project, the
Yeah.
artist is calling it a mixtape. The media is calling it an album. Like the reason I'm talking about this I'm going to ask Loco a question concerning this tomorrow because we rescheduled it for tomorrow. So
Oh, okay.
I have a
Mm-hmm.
question to ask him tomorrow concerning this whole topic. So, as-tu, si tu regardes je sais que tu sais déjà ce qui veut dire, ce qui est la différence entre l'épée et l'album.
Loco is a francophone.
Yeah, Loco is francophone. You never know?
I know he's francophone. But I'm just like, doesn't he speak English?
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
I'm just speaking
okay.
French because hell, why use English when he can speak French?
Why use
Because
French when you can speak English?
we use English a lot here.
Okay,
I'm just trying to spice it up a bit.
okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just trying to mix the
Yeah.
languages up. Let's not be like,
It's just
yeah,
that
just
Fallon is
English.
not here, so I'm just trying to look for your trouble. So yeah, let Fallon
Okay.
comes.
Uh, oh boy, where she is right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'll answer the question. The question it asked. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
APs are extra music after dropping some singles. Uh over 10. Okay, Molita always does his ratings on 5. So let me not go to over 10, okay? GK,
Mm-hmm.
Boza to GK. Yeah, GK gave the right answer. Boza to
Okay.
GK. Yes. Boza to GK. Voilà,
Mm-hmm.
you gave the right answer. So, Defaka is explaining that EPs are like music
Mm-hmm.
after dropping a single.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Defaka is explaining why he could not reply on time. That connection problems here, okay? And then
Okay.
GK said extended play. That's the full meaning of an EP. You get it, right?
Yeah, I
And I'll
get it.
explain it. Okay, I'll tell you why it is called extended play. So
Okay.
Defaka gave his own what he thinks. Okay, so over 5. The the definition is 1.5 mark. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The meaning of the definition is you see it the meaning
Uh, now this show is now that's it. The show has just begun.
yeah, so the definition of that meaning, okay, is 1.5 mark. That gives you 3 marks. But
Mm.
then I think, yeah, explanation and then why EPs or extended plays sound the way they sound. So, meaning of an EP. Eta, now you get it. Defaka, thank you for giving it. Eric gave it
Yeah.
first. So, Eric gets the buzzer. Okay?
Chicken.
I mean, GK.
Mm-hmm.
GK, you gave it first, so you deserve it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then Defaka also followed it, and Defaka tried to explain that extended plays are extra music.
Yeah.
Okay? Uh, okay, Defaka does not understand the difference between EPs and album. Bruh, I got
Yeah.
you. Okay? I got you. That's why I came here today. I don't know why I'm talking today this way and I have so much
Right.
material today. Or maybe it's just because I just woke up because I was sleeping.
Right.
That's why I feel fresh. And all these days I haven't had slept up to 3 hours a day. So I guess today I feel this great because I've slept. Yeah, I've had enough.
And
Okay.
I'm inside sleep deprived today. I still
Yeah.
need to sleep some more.
For
Anyway,
all these
okay.
days I haven't had up to 3 hours of sleep. So today I've had enough. So that's why I'm sharp. So yeah, I used to hear guys talking about the importance of sleeping. That when you sleep and you wake up, you feel different. You have a lot of
Yeah.
energy. You can. Yeah, today I feel that. So
So true.
back to it. Okay, see the energy of our flow. So to the top, the thing about plenty. So I'm taking a lot of detours, guys.
What to say?
Yeah, don't worry. We'll land there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Eric also gave his own point of view. Like EP is a project short. Okay, EP is a
Mm-hmm.
project too short to be
Yeah.
an album, but it has
Mm-hmm.
more than one song. Okay, that's what Defaka just said. A valid point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
GK also GK is still in. Okay, GK say the EP should not be than 6 tracks. Uh,
Okay.
no. Uh.
What's the limit for an EP?
It's not the number of tracks, it's the number of minutes.
Oh, okay.
So GK, yeah, you may be right, you may be wrong. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because nevertheless, it depends on the artist. Like EPs vary with artists. So that 6 track you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, for me, is 7 track. To you, it is 6 track. But I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
why I think it is 7 and why it varies with artists. Okay, so let me now go to the meaning. They have already given the definition. Let me explain why or what is an extended play. An extended play is the link between a single and an album. An extended play from a single and an album. Why is it called that? Defaka explained there are extra songs, which mean when recording, if you drop singles, and you have those kind of songs that cannot go by themselves like singles, you just pile them up and drop them as an EP. Defaka, you're neither right nor wrong. EPs are like, do you know when they shoot movies, they drop trailers, right?
Yeah.
EPs are like trailers to an album. So the EP gives you an idea of what the album will sound like, or the kind of songs that will be found in a full length album. And an EP is an extension from it's an extension between singles and an album.
Okay.
Yeah, so albums are just singles are just songs that are thrown out to see which one will work, like songs that are thrown out for the radio and TV station. Those are commercial songs. Singles can be commercial songs. Singles, depending on the artist, some may want to please their core fans. But singles are songs that could be marketed. EPs are links between those singles that could be marketed that have no meaning. Those singles can just stand out alone. They just have their own vibe. They just have their own meaning. But they hang on. They are dope. But EPs are links between albums and that single, which means EPs add more meaning to that single, make you feel like, okay, if
Yeah.
this artist can produce this kind of music, and in this EP he can do all these various styles, and he wants you to feel this kind of emotion. He wants you to know that he can produce all this kind of music, so you should expect this kind of vibes in his album. That's one. The next one is EPs, like say, like the link between an album. EPs tell you part of the story. There are some artists like conceptual artists, like who do story albums. Like Beyonce did a visual album narrating the story about him and Jay-Z, that Lemonade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah.
So an EP for Lemonade would just be something telling you guys, I'm about to tell you guys something that is happening in my family. She will not actually tell you guys what is happening in her family. She will do that on the album. But the EP will have some few songs that will make you guys understand that, oh shit, she's about to get real on
Yeah.
the album. It
Yeah.
has to go to rap albums too. Rap albums, some artists would make you understand that, okay, this route on the album, I'll be hitting at politics. This route on the album, I'll be talking about my family. I'll be talking about God. I'll be just vibing. I'll be going the club route. So that's the use of an EP. An EP is to make the fans be aware that, okay, so this album coming, is going to be heading towards this direction.
Yeah.
Though nowadays Cameroon artists, yeah, Eric, I understand what you said. That's why I'm going to come to why he has 7 tracks. Okay, and like I said, it varies from artist to artist. So the EP explains the meaning, like is that link between that and an album. Okay, yeah, so it makes fans know, okay, this artist is about to take this route. And the next advantage of an EP is to make that artist have enough material to tour with.
Yeah.
Though he's not ready to give them the album yet, and when he goes on shows or to perform, his set is always too short because of lack of material. That EP helps him have enough material. Though they have songs with them all the time. Every artist have songs that they haven't released. Trust me, every artist have songs that they haven't released. But an
Yeah.
EP makes them put out some of those songs, make the fans be acquainted with those songs, okay, so that when they go on the road they have enough material that they can share with the fans. It's like you two guys that have similar stories that you can talk about, like when you see, especially guys who have gone to the dormitory, come on, you guys know what I mean, like when after prep
Yep.
or lunch or yeah, you guys sit together and you're talking about a certain series that you were watching and you've seen it, this guy have seen it. So that's how EP is.
Yeah.
An EP is creating a link between you and your fans to increase your tour time, to increase your set, the time you have to use to perform. So the use of an EP increase your, it makes the fans aware of what the album will be about, and it gives you enough material to perform during a set that increase your stage time. Okay, and
Yeah.
why Eric said and GK said an EP should not be more than 6 track, and GK said Tenor's EP has 7 tracks. So now let's go to the point why those EPs vary. EPs are supposed to be an album is supposed to be 30 minutes long.
Mm.
If a body of work, when you combine the minutes of those songs, if it add up to more than 30 minutes, they have the right to call it an album.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, see Kanye West, the whole of good music. Pusha T dropped 7 tracks. Tiana Taylor dropped 7 tracks. Kanye West dropped 7 tracks. Who again? Uh, Kid Cudi dropped 7 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the whole good music strand. The reason is because, and those songs, some of them were just 2 minutes, 1 minute. But when you
Mm.
add that thing up, it was more than 30 minutes. So it had the right, it passed as an album. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just one thing. So now let's move down to the track side. Though it is more than 30 minutes and the number is still too short, you can still call it an EP. Why? It depends on the amount of tracks the artist decide to put on his LP. LP is a full length project, like that's the album.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It depends on the kind of songs. Like somebody like Tenor. Tenor's EP has 7 tracks, but Tenor's albums always have 16 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But if an artist is dropping his album like Jovi, somebody who can drop just 12 tracks on his album, if your album always has 12 tracks, you have no reason to drop 7 tracks for an EP. If not, you've given away more than half of the album.
Mm-hmm.
So if your album has just 10 tracks, those kind of guys always drop 4 songs as EPs. Those kind of guys always drop 5 songs as EPs. But if you're an artist, if somebody dropped 7 songs as an EP, just know his album will be above 14 tracks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an extended play between his singers, and sometimes sometimes they drop 3, 4 singers. Then when they drop the EP, you see all those singles in that EP. Then they just add 3 new tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So that's uh that's the difference. Like it varies from artist to artist. So you can put 7 tracks. Some guys put 8 tracks and call them EPs. Though an album, but some of them call that EP because their
Mm-hmm.
album is longer than 14 tracks.
Yeah.
Just know that dropping an EP with 7 tracks, just know their album will be more than 14 tracks or at least 14 tracks.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about in the beginning you said people should get ready to learn. And I'm like, yeah. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah,
And you're talking, I'm like, I should be noting this thing down. There's a lot, yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot
Uh,
I didn't
I
know.
know some of
Yeah.
these things because I never even knew it. I was in music before. Most guys heard me talking with Eddie about when I released music, and that Eddie know I used to do music. I released an EP before. Back then, I never knew it. I just called it an EP because Kendrick Lamar called it the Good Kid, Mad City EP, an EP. Then the
Mm-hmm.
full length album, Good Kid, Mad City, the album.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took that into, but I never knew what it meant. His EP had 7 tracks. The album had, I think, 16 tracks. Me too. My own EP had 7 tracks with 2 bonuses. That was
Mm-hmm.
9 already. So yeah, back then I never knew what it meant. And after dropping that EP, I went and studied. I went and studied, and I knew what all those things were. And I realized, okay, that's why ever since then, I did not even follow up with an album because when I knew the meaning of an EP and what an EP meant, I just realized that okay, I'll just put together a bunch of tracks with no coordination. I've just dropped
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of tracks, and even if I drop an
Yeah.
album now, it may not follow up to that EP. It may not. So that was way back in 2014. So
We learn and we grow.
yeah. So but I learned that just that same year. But since then, I've just sat
Mm-hmm.
on it, that whole information, that knowledge, and yeah. So that's what an EP is all about. That's why sometimes EPs have the same cover as different color.
Mm-hmm.
If you've noticed, if you've noticed. So
Yeah.
now let's go now to the difference between EPs
Mixtape.
and mixtape. Mhm. The mixtape, a mixtape started, I think, in back in the late 80s. I think that DJs, okay, before hip hop, during the birth, like the rise, during the infant state, mixtapes
Mm-hmm.
existed. Mixtapes were used as this breakbeat. Hey, before I continue, there's somebody that needs to have credit for having the foundation of hip hop. He's a Cameroonian. Nobody knows that. Everybody watching here, you can learn that. You can use this as a debate. Manu Dibango hip hop. Manu Dibango
Well.
sound. That is sound. Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa, mama say, mama. I'm not talking about the sound, that tone. I'm talking about the
Mm-hmm.
drum, the beats, the drum roll. So way back when African Americans were trying to find a sound that would define their sound that looks hip in the and to come up with something new to make the club popping. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
way back then you had all this jazz, funk, rock and roll, and all that shit. But they started searching for songs that reflect their root where they came from
Mm-hmm.
to blend it with the music already existing there. So they stumbled upon a song that, up to date, I don't think any hip hop artist even know the origin of that. If you listen to most hip hop songs in those days, Eric said Chakara looks sleepy. Chakara is fat, doesn't look
I'm
sleepy. She's learning.
I'm listening.
She's listening.
Uh-huh.
So realize in those days hip hops, you always hear the drums they use there are always like tong 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 tong. That you hear
Mm.
tung, tung. That's just what they added onto that tong 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 tong. But if you go back and listen to that basic sound, every hip hop in the 90s, like the boom bap age, that sound. Either they speed it up
Yeah.
or they slow it down, but it's the same
Mm-hmm.
rhythm. That sound was the same. Is that was the sound that was Manu Dibango's sound. And Zida Mama say Mama sa Mama kusa Mama say Mama on it. That everybody
Mm-hmm.
just took it, and sometimes they were adding it to their rhymes when rapping, mixing it with their flow. Sometimes a pop artist who used it, Michael Jackson used it, Rihanna used it, hip hop artists were using it, but the ones that everybody know that are prevalent are Michael Jackson and Rihanna. But
Mm-hmm.
almost every artist, even rock and roll artists, used it. That
Yeah.
line they used it, but the hip hop sound. Before we go to mixtape, so I'm talking about how mixtapes came about. That's why I went back to Manu Dibango. So I just want to give a
Mm-hmm.
whole history lesson on how hip mixtape came into existence. So and why they call them mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
So they took Manu Dibango's sound, just the drum roll. The drum roll represents African, like how they call it, the motherland. So they took it and they realized that when they use that sound in a particular spot on the beats, everybody just keep dancing without stopping. So DJs
Okay.
decided to use the turntable. They had to mark it with needles and all shit that when they turn it, they get to the point where it's just the beat. They had to put
Mm-hmm.
two discs on the turntable. One will cancel out the vocals and let just the beat play. For guys producing, all the
Yeah.
producers, you guys know what I'm saying. If you have an empty instrumental and a beat and a song, and you want to cancel out the in Fruity Loops, all these guys who use Fruity Loop, maybe some guys don't know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just teaching you guys now. If you want to remove the
Mm-hmm.
beats and just have just the vocal, the instrumental, and the full song, then you invert one.
Okay.
Just the empty instrumental will cancel away. Those two instrumentals will cancel themselves. And the only thing that will
Okay.
be different from all those instrumentals will just be the vocals. So you just get the full song. That's why you take somebody's song and extract just his voice, kill the beat.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
how it works. So they have those turntables. Okay, they use those turntables now to mix up the songs. When they get to the spots, they know, okay, this needle it turns and they count it where it gets to the point of that beat. You say then no sound, no music, but everybody's dancing. They just now hear um, MCs. In those days, MCs were masters of ceremony. That's why they call them MCs. Hip hop came from
Mm-hmm.
MC. MC, it never started with just rap. Like you throwing bars. MC was somebody who controls a ceremony. Like was the DJ. That's
Yeah.
why now they even underlook DJs and even talk about artists as MCs, rappers as MCs. MCs back in the days were DJs.
Mm-hmm.
MCs were the guys who keep the party popping. That was the whole idea of. So MC will be like the guy who, when the team is making, say, shout out to that nigga over there with the girl with the big booty. You see, everyone say, "Whoa,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just how it was." Then it stepped
Yeah.
up. Yeah, there were names. There were, uh, I think, Grandmaster Flash. DJ started giving them names, superhero names, just to
Yeah.
Yeah, you see. So you had all those guys in those days. What I'm talking about now is around the 80s. Okay, eating before you know all these kind of things I'm talking about. It's not something that we know
Mm-hmm.
within our lifetime. It's something of 50 years old, 50 years back, or 60 something years. So they would. So DJ MCs were and okay. I'm not going to history lesson. I think I'll put that one on my audiobook that I'm recording.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
mixtape came as a result of these guys extracting those beats and mixing it with some catchy tones in rock and roll or funk. When they mix it up, it gives you a new sound. It is not rock
Yeah.
and roll, it is not funk, but it's music. So they couldn't give that project a name, so they call it mixtape because it is a blend between something that already existed, things which already existed. That's why nowadays when artists release hip hop songs, they call them mixtape. The beat may belong to an artist song that already exists. That's why when an artist is dropping a mixtape, you see all the beats in that song can be a beat from, for example, Lee Wayne's drop, I think Sorry for the Wait too. The beats in that song contain songs released by I'm in love with the Coco. And he had my nigga, all those beats there, and then he just put his own rhymes on those beats. That's a mixtape. He's using beats that already existed and adding something new to it. So mixtape came as a result of combining things which already existed to bring something new. And you cannot sell a mixtape. A mixtape is supposed to be free because you can't sell something that already belonged to somebody and already existed.
Yeah.
Those are mixtapes. Okay? So, but nowadays you can't differentiate between a mixtape and an album. I'll tell you why. So,
Really?
yeah, you can't nowadays. You just
Okay.
can't. Okay. Um, Now let's move to an album. What is an album? An album is, yeah, most guys call it combination of so many tracks put together to sell and make money. Yeah, you sell albums to make money, but what is an album though? Why do they call it an album? Okay, Ita, why? What is a photo album?
A photo album,
Yeah.
basically where people put their pictures,
Uh huh.
like keep their pictures.
What's the essence of a photo album?
So photo album, I think it's basically to keep pictures together. Like
Why
I
though?
don't know if there's any other use, but it's to preserve your pictures and merge them. Yeah.
Why though? Can anybody answer the question? Why do they call those books photo albums? Album. Why though? Can anybody answer it? Because I know we are live and yeah, I think it's mute day.
Yeah. Falon is saying, how much are we paying for this course? Because I'm sure learning a lot today.
Yeah, don't worry. I have an audiobook. I'll just everything I'm saying here today, even though you guys are learning a lot, I'm not giving everything, but I'm giving you enough to enlighten you. I'm still recording the audiobook. I'm giving you enough to make everybody in the music industry or everybody here, for everybody watching it right now, you can share this episode to let these guys who haven't been following Contrast Podcast start following, okay? Because this is
Yeah.
just a small part of it. I don't just want to be these guys who say you should pay them to make money. Like you should buy their book or pay them every month to learn how to make money. If you had money, then why would you be paying them every month to learn how to make money?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need
so
the money in the first place.
yeah, so either you have it or you don't. So if you have the knowledge to help somebody make money, give them the knowledge. When they make the money, they can come back and show their appreciation. So if you don't give them that knowledge because you want them to give you money, then you are not helping them. By the way, some guy just say it's just this amount, just pay this amount every month and you make this. No, nigga, shut the fuck up. Give the knowledge.
Y- Yeah, so in line with what a lot of successful people tell you, in order if you really want to make much money, first start by giving your product for free. And we
Yeah,
see a lot of these social media companies, which are like billion-dollar companies, it's free,
Ita, do
but
you?
like
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
actually free.
That's why I
Yeah,
asked somebody, do you know how Facebook make money? But every day you're on Facebook watching for free, just doing everything for free.
yeah,
Ask guys, you know how YouTube make money? It's just nowadays that YouTubers are making it, exposing the secret behind YouTube making money. That was
Yes.
done by YouTubers, not YouTube. Nobody know. Even you,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook today, still so many guys don't know how Facebook make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many guys don't still know. But you're one of the richest guys in the world, and you're like, what the fuck? I sign in here every day and just work for free, talk to my
Seriously, I've
family for
never
free.
paid him any
Yeah,
money.
bring.
I've never given any money to Mark Zuckerberg,
How
but
does this guy make money?
uh,
So swaggy. Yeah, the only thing you guys can do here, the only payment you guys can do here, okay? Like how Falana has. The only thing pay you guys can do here is just to share this episode. Just share it now and bring
mm-hmm.
more guys to come and gain more of the knowledge that you said. Okay? This contrast podcast,
Yeah.
in fact, Molitan was created to make you guys understand why everything about music industry, they say Cameroon music industry is still an infant industry that has been the topic or the name for over 10 years. So
Baby
the
industry.
reason it's still a baby industry is because we just chase what is presented on screen and we forget about what happens behind the scenes. And those things that happen behind the scenes are what control what you see in the screen, in front of the screen. Those are the things that judge or filter out what are presented to you. So share this episode, okay? Album photos talks about you as for me.
Yeah. So
Album
that's his point of view. Like, mhm.
they talk about you. Yeah. So, like I'm. Wait, best vlog in 237. What? Say, damn, so much content to learn from. Best vlog. Okay, Swaggy. Swaggy,
Podcast.
now, this is a podcast. This ain't no vlog, man. Okay? Yeah, come on now. This ain't no vlog. It's a podcast. Okay? And a vlog, if you want to follow me on my vlog, if you want to get vlogs, just subscribe to Daily Mo. That's my YouTube channel, personal YouTube channel, Daily Mo. Just search it now. I'll be vlogging, giving you guys my behind the scenes, daily life shit, all the bullshit I go through, and all the good stuff I go through, and how I fuck up or fix my day. So, back to a photo album. Swaggy said Daily B pay you know they fine, bro. Make you know the rest. Know the rest I say. Say pay you know they fine. Make I know the rest. I don't get it. Say Chende. I need the ask when I'm gonna pay me,
You know
bro.
the fine, bro. Make you know this. Yeah. So things are hard. No money to
I need to
pay.
pay no mommy pay me anything. Even the audiobook I'm about to release will be out for free on streaming platforms. The only money I'll make from it is when you guys stream it. So I'm not asking anybody to pay something extra. Okay? So back to the photo album. That you haven't still understood why they call it a photo album.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing goes for music album. The fucker just gave what he thinks about photo albums, like
Yeah.
talks about you. As for me, yeah, you have a slight point, and I also wanted to give the fucker's rating of the definition and the meaning of EP. The fucker, you have 3 on 5. Okay, you had 3 on 5 because you had the name correct and the
Yeah.
definition you slightly missed it, but you had a pass mark. At least you learn, you have a knowledge of it. Some guys don't even know what the fuck AP mean. Some guys just know you just put a bunch of tracks together and then you just do like how we call it tumbo tumbo, and to see if you call it EP mixtape or album. EP
Yeah.
mixtape album. EP mixtape album. EP yeah, na EP. True, right? Yeah. Some guys do that shit. You see, or some guys just think EP means that's the trending name everybody is releasing right now. Let me just go with
Yeah.
EP.
So yeah, that's it.
You see, some guys just think, yeah, let me just go with EP. So, a photo album. The reason they call them album is because have you ever noticed something Facebook shared to you? I know if you've been on Facebook for more than 3 years, Facebook has sent something to you and said, when you join Facebook, show you, or at the end of the year, they show you your post that you post, the number of likes you had, and the number of interactions you had. And Facebook names it an album. Do you know why? An album is
Um.
an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just dive into it, okay? An album is a collective of a timeline of events in somebody's life or in a period in time. That is an album. An album tells a story either through words or images. An album from the beginning to the end has to tell a story. That's why all those photo albums at home, you see your mom always put your baby pictures in the beginning or at the end. Then at the end, they're your current photos, but in the beginning, they're your baby photos. So an album tells the story about your various stages in life, about how you've
Yeah.
grown. An album tells a particular timeline, events in time. It breaks down a particular event in time. So photo albums stand over the test of your lifespan. Music albums can stand over the period of 1 year, 6 months, or a certain period of your life. That's what an album is. An album is somebody explaining series of events that happen within a time frame. So they use music to explain those events. So by the time you leave from track one to the last track, you understand something about them or something about a particular story or event or period in time. That is supposed to be an album. Okay? So I wanted to ask for independent artists what people expect from their first album. I don't think I'll dive. Let me just get it out. Okay. So that's the difference between an album. So, album, how long can an album be? That's why you see albums even have things in between them like skits about like people talking. Then you get back to the music. People talk, or you hear something like a like some comedy skits in between a couple of songs, or there's just one track that is just somebody talking or somebody doing something. Then the next track is a song. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's an album. An album explains certain chain of events within a period of time. So the reason I say EPs explain what this the link between singles and an album is because if you drop dance songs, okay, if you drop dance songs as singles and your EP, you just have bunch of songs. Okay, that Martin does that flicker again. Okay, so if you have dance songs, then you drop an EP, you have the same dance songs. The thing that matters in that album is not the beats and the rhyme you're going with, but what you're saying in those songs. That's why artist title, the title of an album explains. Sometimes they just put a bunch of songs together and they just give you the title to explain the that title will explain the things they went through in the course of recording that album or the phase of their life where they were recording that particular project. These things were happening to them. Or the album itself, the music itself, explain that chain of events or a particular phase in their life. Yeah. Or the album explain. Yeah, I'm reading what Swaggy said. Say it's a long body of work that gives fans understanding and gives fans a deep understanding and connections to an artist. But these days is just a combination of club songs. Well, that's why I'm saying that nowadays you can't even differentiate an EP. Like you don't even know what an EP is. Okay? Um and I'll also address that before we end this episode of today. Why today you can't differentiate a mixtape from an album. But EPs are still EPs. Or everything is just fucked up these days. Everything is just about a trend. What do you think sounds best? You just drop, put it on the project. Nowadays, guys don't even understand the meaning of it. And when you understand the meaning of those things, you understand how your fans operate. You understand how to control your fans. You organize your fans. You make it's like TV programming. You remember it's always make sure you take your bath before 8 o'clock just because you want to watch Catalina and Sejo, or you want to watch Marima. That was TV programming. You know, at that time it will come on. Or you guys always go outside when you play before I think it was 10. You make sure you're home just to watch wrestling every Saturday. Or you make sure you're home at 11 to watch Mikai Night because if you miss it, you've missed it. That's how programming is. That's how album is. When you understand how all these things work, you know how to organize. You know how to make your fans relate to you. That's why you see somebody like J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar go away for 2 years and come back, they drop an album and it sells 1 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
because their fans already understand them. They know that when they are away for those 2 years, life happens. They go through life.
Yeah.
And the fans want to know what they were going through in that period of time. So they listen to their album to find out what happened within that period of time because
Mm-hmm.
they must put it in the album.
To mention, like, I remember when the whole Jay-Z Solange saga happened in the elevator, and
Yeah.
there was this comedian who said Solange was lucky she hit the as it blueprint Jay-Z, she not hit the reasonable doubt
Now Jay Z,
Jay-Z
yeah.
because yeah, because like their albums are really like telling their stories of where I'm at now in life, my mindset, how things are going, and oh yeah, so
Yeah. And if you get it, during Jay Z's last album, the 444, that
mm-hmm.
what happened up to the
Yeah,
elevator situation.
yeah,
So, and that's why the album sold the way it sold, and everybody rushed to the
mm-hmm.
album because Jay Z has been silent for almost, I think, how many years? 5 to 10 years, I don't know. But
Yeah,
he has been
right.
silent, so life has been happening. They only hear him, his money increasing, his bank account
Mm-hmm.
increasing. They don't know what is happening, what he has been up to, what he has been doing. Okay. Eric say it needs to sleep. Eric, no, at first when Njike said Chakara looks sleepy.
Yeah,
Now Eric has
right.
said
Like,
it needs to sleep. Our two family members are, yeah, now I got it. You see, I'm going to come at it as well. You already come at me. Yes. Now I'm in that.
yeah.
So I think we should get it to participate a bit. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be
Mm.
very
So I should
interesting.
stop looking sleepy.
Yes, I think we should get her to talk a bit. So,
Yeah.
talking on this topic of albums, Eta, so
Mm.
far in Cameroon, how many Cameroon artists have you listened to their full length album ever since you became interested in Cameroon music and the rest? How many of them?
I've listened to Gasha. There was a time when I was really like into Gasha, listening to everything Gasha has. But then again, I'll tell you, I don't know if it's a full-fledged album I listened to because I was just listening to everything Gasha, so it might be from different albums and everything. Yeah. So other than that, let me see. I think I've listened to Jovi, all of his songs in his album.
Which of the
And this was
albums?
not like the album where he had Epiqua. Which album was that?
I think that's Mboko God.
Okay, yeah. So that album,
Or 16 Wives. Wait, Prequel is in 16
is
Wives
it
or
16?
Mboko God or.
So I don't really know. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that album, I think I listened to most of the tracks on that album. I mean, songs which up to today they are not yet popular. I've listened to all of that. Other than that, I'll not say I've listened to any other artist album. What I usually do is just the hit songs, like just the songs that I like made hit songs. That's what I
Hmm.
listen to. And just goes to your point of, and I think it's swagger
Swaggy.
swaggy
Swaggy
swaggy,
Junior number
yeah.
one.
So yeah, it goes to the point of what he was saying. Like nowadays, people don't really take their time to create albums which tell a story. It's more of okay, just this club banger. And when I'm listening to somebody's album, I'm like, okay, I don't like this. I cannot dance to this. I cannot dance to this. But when I was listening to Jay-Z 444, it's like, okay, he said this, okay, this was actually happening in his life. And I think many Cameroonian artists have not yet gone the approach of let me sing about my personal life. Because I look at like somebody like Salatia who he tried, but I don't think that is his story. I don't think that is his
Yeah.
story that he's telling. I
Yeah.
strongly believe it's just a story of something that happens in society. So many Cameroonian artists have not
That's what I'm
really
saying. Even an
gone
album
that
does
route
that.
of telling their stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um. Yeah.
Eric is saying something.
16. Okay. Yeah. He's 16 wife. Yeah. NGK. Thank you for the correction. Like I was confused
Okay.
if it was Boko God or 16 wife. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm still in
So
my fake G series. Yeah. I know they are series fake G's. Yeah. The fact I've listened. I think to that series. I think maybe.
hmm
And uh, Eric said something that I think Cameroon music industry is starting a lot of money on or spending a lot of money to invest in an album because you will not gain the money on it. Hmm.
um,
The point is
really.
before doing an album, okay, it goes to the point the equation. Damn, this episode is finna bit long. So it goes to the point when I wanted to say, when do you think is the right time for an artist to release his first project?
Mhm.
That was what I talked about
Yeah.
with Ita behind before going live. Guys,
Yeah.
we always chat a bit before coming live. It's not just like we go boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom, boom, live. Yeah. What up? Is up? What up? On the platform? We talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it also goes to that thing. Okay. When is the right time for an artist to drop? So
Mhm.
talking a lot, I've just been everywhere, all over the place, and now things are all over the place in my brain because I don't write.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know, everything ever since I started YouTube, I've never scripted any of my videos. Even doing the review,
Mhm.
I've never jot down topics. I don't jot down topics because when I jot down topics, my they limit my expansion. Okay,
Mhm.
they rate the speed at which my brain
Your
process information
flexibility and all that.
or bring
Yeah.
out the information or the flexibility as it as you said. So I don't script down anything. So though it doesn't matter how, even if I talk and at the door I go way left and you guys still think and you want to see I come back to where I left off and you're like, was he watching that somewhere or did he just put that point? So no, I don't. Everything I'm talking about now is just in my mind. Like I scripted in my mind, I just keep it there. Okay?
Yeah, so I wanted to say something about right time for an artist to have an album. Now, from what you have been saying and what I've gathered from all of this, all what you've been saying is okay. An album is you're telling a story. You're telling your followers where you are at in life at that point in time.
Not only my
So
life
I feel
story.
like if yeah, so I'm just saying that anyway, that's the way I see many celebrities going. I remember Taylor Swift, her most recent album, where she had a lot of songs. Normally Taylor Swift is always this person has broken my
Yeah.
heart, this person has broken my heart.
Yeah.
But this time around, she was in a place of okay, I found someone, and it was more of a happy songs or whatever. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, I think before you go in that route of releasing an album,
Yeah.
you should first have a following. You should have a following which wants to know more about you, who wants to listen more,
Mm.
like listen to more of your content and listen to more of your reality. So I struggle for upcoming artists, and what I've seen work is begin with a single, start singles, and then you get this hit single, then you can go to the EP, then you can go. That's my point of view. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a point about having followers. And those followers
Mm-hmm.
are just will just be the seed. I call those kind of followers
Yeah.
the seed followers, like the initial followers. Those are the guys who make everybody know you.
Mm-hmm.
Fans want to feel like they are connected to an artist, like they can relate to what the person is saying, and they can relate to the person's personal life. That's how
Yes.
fans want to feel like. So an album, or they want you to see the word the way they see it. They want to believe that you see what is happening, or you see the word the way it's happening. So albums either explain your life, the journey you've been through, so the fans can pick out the similarities between you and them in your life story and with things you've been through in life, or
Mm-hmm.
an album can explain a chain of events happening in a particular place at a particular time, or political events happening in a particular period of time, or things happening at the moment. That albums are just for the moment. Some albums leave the test of time. Some albums explain life stories, but an album, a full length album, explain story in a particular period of time. It may be in a particular place. It may be in your life. It may be that's just how
Mm-hmm.
an album is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe I'm just being specific with hip hop albums, but albums in general, all the albums I've enjoyed that I feel like these are albums and that live up to the name album, because album has to tell a story from the beginning to the end, like a photo album. The
Mm-hmm.
same way, the reason I use that as an example because that's the reason, that's why that name came about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so from the beginning to the end. So if an album, all
Mm-hmm.
the albums I've enjoyed from the track, I've enjoyed the whole story in it.
Yeah.
You see. So now let's go now to when is it the artist to drop his first album and what should his first album sound like? You as an artist or all these upcoming artists like us right now, when it is time for you to drop your first album, you will know. Trust me, you will know. And the window is this open. If it closes, yeah, you start by you just
Mm-hmm.
remain underground forever. When it is time for you to drop your first album, you will know. And After dropping, you see, your first album will determine if you will stay or fade away when that time comes. Your first album will determine if you will stay or fade away. The reason why I repeat that one is because so many guys have just enjoyed the hype of a single for so long and missed the window to release an album.
Yeah.
And when they drop a mediocre album, they fade away. So, what should your first album sound like? Your first album, everybody know you as somebody who is flashy on social media. Maybe that's why they like you, your personality, or they may like certain things about you, like the way you pose, the way you dress, and the music you release. Maybe a club banger. They like the music because they dance to it a lot. Okay, now you have the attention. The eyes are on you. Okay, your first album is supposed to tell those guys that these guys, you guys are watching this, who I am. I'm like this. I like this. Grew up like this. Tell guys who you are because they don't know who you are. Your first album is like you're introducing yourself to the world, like introducing yourself to the guys who follow you. So from that first album, the listeners or the fans who decide will pick the parts of your life that are similar to theirs and they'll say, yeah, that me said be late, that man Sunday we go school late. Chai. I remember some teacher I want key me too. So yeah, already guys have something in common. Though they see you as a
Yeah.
star, but that just make them relatable to your life, like you're human too, like you grew up the same like them. So at that point in time, you become like a point of like a motivation to them. You just become like a a focus point for them. You just become like, how do I
An
put it?
inspiration, relatable.
Inspiration to them, relatable, yeah, to them. Thank you for the word. Very small word, but we they talk plenty today, so small word they disappear. You just become an inspiration to them. You give them the proof that if you came from the same environment and the things they came from, and you're the way you are now, it means they can do it. So for that reason, they follow you like a family member. Like sometimes they may drop their comments in the comment section related, just trying to pull back at some of the things they heard in that album that relate to their life. Like when you go like, you see, sometimes that's why they relate to you. So your first album is to make your fans know. That's why you drop all those tracks because all those tracks, each track will have something for somebody in your life. Because we are all similar than we think. We are all similar than we think. Even a rich guy, a rich Ajibota guy, have his heart broke someday, somewhere. May have, yeah, that's life. That's human nature. Or
Yeah.
a rich guy may have wounded himself while doing something, or may have gotten into a fight, or may have failed a test, an exam, or may have felt excited when they got him something. We are all similar than we think, despite the life, the status in life, whether middle class, upper class, lower class, there's one thing that's similar between all of us. There are certain words or certain jokes that we laugh at, certain things that we relate to. So an album is for you to explain your whole life, introduce yourself to those fans. So they understand who this guy is, and some of them pick out the similarities about the guy that they like. Some of them may hate the guy because of some of the things he's into. And at the same time, you're gaining now core fans who introduce you, like, say, Tomorrow, you don't hear that Paramani album. Child, I die. If you're mad, is that Paramanto say do this, and he's telling somebody who has never listened to you before. And in that case, introducing you to somebody similar to you because they are similar to you and they are talking to somebody who is the same as them, who went through the same experiences. That's why some albums grow with time because of word of mouth, because some guys listen to the album and they relate to the words in those albums.
Yeah.
So that's what your first album is supposed to be like. Your second album can still be a timepiece, but your second album can just be you throwing out emotion. Okay, you've introduced them to your life. They know who you are. Your second album can be what you aim for, or your achieve you want what you want to achieve, or your second album can be what your life has been after that first stage of your life. So yeah, that's an album. An album is supposed to tell a story. For it doesn't matter if it is these dance songs, club songs. Sometimes those albums explain what you like to do when you're in the club. Malox,
Yeah.
like what guys, Malox released his album. His album was just a combination of his singles. His single, he's talking about things everybody in Cameroon can relate to. That's why you see Malok though guys think like Malok's songs are just like for dance and they are vocal, but he's talking about things that guys see every day in Cameroon. That's why you see guys are so relatable to Malok's. So by the time you listen to his album from beginning to end, though some parts in it may be repetitive, but you will just listen to the whole album or you'll be like, "Kai, na Mendong man this. The man grown up for Mendong King." You get it? So and you can listen to somebody like Jovi, like his album HIV, from the beginning to the end. Like that's my favorite Jovi album of all time till date. I still like the album, not because I like all the songs in the album, but it has some songs that stand the test of time.
Yeah.
That when you listen to them, they still relate up to today. I cannot say it sounds the best, but the message in that album is it. I can say I think Jovi's last album that was the best sounding album musically to me, but in terms of content, it was lacking as compared to HIV. I've listened to all Locals project. I've listened to Skyzo. I've listened to The Bridge. I've listened to Cloud9, and I've also listened now to this Locked Up. I've listened to Mr. Leo's Love Original. I've listened even to the Panchak that I said I don't like him too much because all of his songs sound similar to the next. Though it was true without his EP he dropped, all the songs sound like the remix of the next, and
Okay.
I never learned anything from the EP, to be honest, because I never got, but I got some information based on his life story, like his favorite song. Like I always tell you, my favorite Tizi Panchak song is Ngeme because he's talking about things I
Yeah,
can
me
relate
home
to.
for you.
Yeah, everything in that song is something somebody can relate to. So when it is time to drop your first album, you'll know. That's when you feel guys run into your comment section. You start getting those DMs like fans telling you they like your music, or you feel like somebody will just say, you just feel the energy change. That's when you feel it's the right time to drop your album. And what the first album is supposed to be like is an introduction. I'm just talking the way like this because I want to wrap it up. We have gone more than an hour already. So you guys can share this
Oh,
episode to get the learning out. Though I never said everything I had to say. Okay, though because this topic is something that can go on for days, like 12 hours, like an audiobook. I tell you guys, I'm recording an audiobook, so it has a lot of information. You can just be driving, you play it, and you're listening to, you learn everything in it. Or you can be cleaning, you just play it, and it's playing, you're learning everything in it while cleaning. That's how audiobooks work. Because I know some guys don't like reading. I know that for a fact. I fucking don't like reading, but I read when I know I have to. When I need, yeah, when I need to. I don't read because I have to. I just read when I see that I have no choice but to read something. I read it. Yeah. But I like
yeah.
listening. I like watching because visual experience helps a lot in the learning process to me. The listening experience helps a lot to me to understand the thing a lot. That's why I just believe that the audiobook will be the best way. So thank you guys for today's episode, for connecting with us, for talking with us. I want to be really be special about it here if I don't say like so
I have a question for you before we go.
yeah.
Do you think it's time for Blanche Bailey to drop an album?
Yep.
Yeah,
She
I think it's about
is
time.
way overdue. It's way overdue.
I think it's
She dropped
about
an EP
time.
before. Do you know that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I found out that about her. I was doing a biography of her. Yeah.
Yep.
But I think it's really time she does an album. Like
Yeah,
she
because
has the
every time she goes
following. She
live
has.
on social media, she gives away pieces of the album pieces of stories that were supposed to be in an album. I know a lot
Mhm.
about Blanche already. That if she had put all those pieces in an album, that would be,
It would have been something, man.
ooh, man, it would be like mind blowing for guys to find out. Like, so that happened. You went through that.
Yeah.
You did that. Oh shit. Yeah. So I think, in fact, you said something. After this video, I'll drop and I'll reach out to Blanche team to get her on Telebeast podcast and talk with her and get her mind
Yeah.
or story on when she feels like, oh, is she ready or is the album ready? Because some of these guys already have the album already recorded. They just need to assemble it. They already have a bunch of songs that have stories about their life. They just need to put it in order. Like the first song should relate to the next one and it should sound good, like symmetrical to the end, or asymmetrical, blah, blah, blah. We should just match together to the end. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. If you're here for the first time, click that subscribe button down there and please share. Okay. Share this video and let everybody get this knowledge, like for upcoming artists. I'm not just doing
Yeah.
this for casual listeners. I'm doing this for guys who are in the music industry and the music business. Okay. There's a topic about networking. I think that one also is one great episode that you guys need to watch. Networking in the music industry, in the entertainment industry. So I'm talking about words already.
Yeah,
So
although that networking thing, I think it could be used in any industry.
in any
Yeah, it's like
that's what I'm
something
saying,
you
that
can use
networking.
anywhere.
So that's
Yeah.
so you see, contrast podcast now school where you know pay school fees for everybody.
Right.
Yes. So
Yeah.
so you guys should share this episode. That's all I ask of y'all. Just share this episode on your Facebook. Just share it. Just one share. Just click Facebook. Boom. Finish. You can even like you put a caption. You can say hi learning experience or dope
Right.
episode.
Hype it
Anything.
up.
You may no, you can hype it or you cannot. But the best thing you can do by just the sharing it does a lot. So thank everybody who's here today, who has been watching today.
Yeah.
Topic that it has little or less information on it, because I like when Fallon and Ita, because this thing is a 3 man squad. Like it's a,
Right.
it's
It's
an
not a 3 man score. Like
it's an
we're
orgy.
4 man,
It's like an
5 man.
orgy, like two girls against one guy beating my ass up, you know. And the only guy that I think is supposed to have my back, Eric, is coming to fuck up the whole chemistry, like make some
Leave Eric
mayonnaise.
alone, man.
I don't write shit, Eric. I don't write.
Your
And I
problem.
like it. And I also like it, Eric, because when you drop those kind of things, it expands my mind a lot. It makes me realize that there's somebody who also thinks some of the things I think already. And when that thing happened, it fucks up my chain of thought. It's just like, okay, you were about to say that thing, he brought it early. Like you were about to bring it
Yeah.
way down the line, but he brought it early. Okay, so one next. So it fucks up my chain of thought. You know, that's why I will get happy. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. If you have anything to say, I'm sorry that I dominated the whole episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a real learning experience, and I want to say I also comment those in the comment section. Swaggy, GK, Eric, like your comments were really rich and really insightful, and it also prompted a lot of discussion. There were a lot of times when you said something out of what somebody in the comment section said,
Yeah.
and like you said, this is a topic that we could talk about for days and days. Like you could talk about for days and days because like